You always knew deep in you that you're meant to shine. You're meant to be known, not just to be seen, to be known. And when I say that word, to be known, something you will feel it in your heart. And this is the video for you. If not, then you can skip it. Deep in your heart, deep in your soul, you have signed up to impact the masses. And the only way that you know and you can agree and you can accept and you can play this out is that your soul has also given you the vehicles and the capabilities, meaning that you know that you have something special to give to the world, something pure to give to the world, something beautiful, something magnificent, something of value to give to the world. And you have the desire, the motivation, the joy, okay? Underline joy to give it. That is your pure heart and your pure soul desires. And that's how you know for sure this is going to happen for you. Because it's not about hoping and praying, okay? It's about knowing. There are people who are like, oh, well, yeah, I wish I was famous. Oh, I wish I had more following and that would be nice, la, 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 la. And then there are people who know that is in their destiny, who know that is in the books, who knows deeply without putting a finger on it, like how exactly, but you just know this is what it is. Let me know if it's you. Drop me a star below. This is that frequency that I'm connecting with, connecting through you. There's a deep knowing in your heart. You've always known this, that there's something special, unique, playful, sparkly, magical about you. But you don't really understand why the adults, the great people, the robots, the others don't get it. You just don't understand that. You're like, why are you numbing down my sparkliness? There could be a lot of things that you had to go through in your life where you feel like you have to lessen your sparkle. Maybe at a certain gathering, you really want to share your idea, you really wanted to say what you want to say, and then you stop. You don't raise your hand, you don't speak up, you don't add to the conversation. And you can call that insecurities. You can call that, not being confident. You can, call that you're being shy. But what if I tell you that it's all excuses? It's all conditioning and it's all hurt and pain that you have inherited. Because at an early age, you have learned the consequences, the suffering from shining too much, from expressing yourself in a too real of a way. Expressing your emotions, having emotions. I work with a lot of men whose their heart chakras are opening and they're feeling so much for the first time in their lives and they don't really know what to do. And they couldn't do anything. They couldn't function. They couldn't, they had to exit relationship, exit job. They're like, Tina, I cannot really do anything other than, being on the couch. And that's the energy of you awakening to your truest, purest essence. Because when I went through my heart awakening portal, okay, it applies to women as well, our heart is a portal of truth, our true heart's desire, our soul, okay, the windows and the doorway to the soul. But when it's shut down because we don't feel safe, we lose that magic, we lose that flow in life. And most people are going to function in the head. They call it the mind. It's not your mind. It's just your brain replaying old conversation and old fears. Okay? If you really slow down, your thought is asking you the same fearful question, the same critical questions. It's not your mind. When you allowing your mind to come forth, and your mind is actually something very peaceful, and it's like a beautiful garden. That's your real mind. The other things are just splatters of craziness over it. You will realize that deep in you, you're a being of God, you're a being of source, you're a being of consciousness. You're a human being. Okay? Hue is the light reflection. Man is the manifestation of the light. So your inner world, okay, is the projector. Your inner world is the real world. And it's reflecting, your consciousness reflects out into this 3D world. So if inside of you is a beautiful, rich, sparkly, joyful, helpful, kind, loving world, it is naturally installed in you that you want to give this to the world. Why? Because if you look at the map of consciousness, okay, by Dr. David Hawkins, you will see there's a cone shape, okay? And when you move up into the higher scale of consciousness, when your consciousness actually operates at a higher level, the cone shapes opens like a funnel. Okay, so what it means that when you are operating at a lower state, you literally only see this much. You operate in limiting beliefs. You operate in limitations and fear and doubt. It's contraction. It's negative, right? When someone say you're being negative or you're having negative thoughts, negative. Subtract, deduct, right? Less. It makes you less. It makes you contract. And when you move up into the scale, there'll be plus. There we go. Plus. What do you think of plus? Increase, up, appreciate, right? More. So actually, when you're operating at states like love, light, and peace, you open up your field of being to more. So not only you are receiving a wealth and abundance of information, whether it's about, how to create more abundance in your life, how you can receive more support, how you have more love in your life, like you just have more abundance in your life. And it works the other way too. You naturally wants to give more. You naturally want to be more generous, because when someone is at a negative, level, listen, they're not going to be throwing out compliments to you. They'll throw out some criticism. Nothing they'll say is something that is expensive and uplifting people. Think of a negative person okay? A complaining person When you hang out with them, they just complain. They just trash talk. They just, woe is me. And how does that make you feel as someone who is, standing next to them or listening to their BS? Contracted, annoyed, like this, it doesn't feel good. You know what I'm saying? Right? So what that means is that when someone is operating at a lower consciousness, negative, contracted, limited view, their view on life is very just small. This is how the way it works. That's not the way it works. That's just your belief. Your belief is this, okay? And your belief is just your opinion. So what is all of this has to do with you activating your star power? Your star power can only be awakened when you are at that state of love, light, and peace, where you remove the criticism, the doubt, the fear, the projection, the judgments of who you need to be, what you should do, how other people to look at you and judge you. You remove all of that and allowing yourself to move freely, to operate in this flow state, what people say in the modern language. And what the flow state actually just means is that you're in your light body. You have cleared out all the density, that's your pain body. And when you don't have that, your shoulders will feel lighter. So it's easier for you to move and dance and express yourself and move in a more beautiful, eloquent way. And that is beauty expressed in human form. So whatever it is that you choose to create from that lightness and expansive and that relaxed and that playful and that joyous life-giving nature is already has a built-in attractiveness. Okay? That's why, when you see people who are smiley and has a, whatever, like good energy, like a genuine smile, not just, whatever, weird fake smile, like a weird salesman. Hello, welcome to this. It's like a genuine, energy, like a beautiful lightness about them. You're drawn to that person's energy. And even if they're not smiling, there's just something uplifting about certain people's energy that you're drawn to. So you see, your magnetism, okay, your star power is gonna be all the way cranked up when you are operating from your lightness, when you're operating for the literal play of you being your inner child, you expressing him or her, you're allowing yourself to have fun, you're allowing yourself to be crazy and goofy and all the things. Because the only reason why you're acting like a, stiff little robot, it honestly is because of judgments. If you were to be really honest with yourself. And the real way to look at it, I encourage you to notice how you are when you are out in public. Okay? Especially at some proper looking place. And then the moment you get home, maybe at work, okay, we're going to put on the suits and tie. We're going to, speak like this. We're going to, be a resting bee face. And when you're home, you're like, oh my God. Oh, takes off the bra, the unbutton, whatever, the belt. Oh God, loosen the tie. And you're just on the couch, putting your feet up. Oh my God. Here's my cold glass of water. Putting your hair in a bun. So what does it say about you? It says that you're performing. You're wearing the social mask. And of course, we need the mask. We need the ego to have that human experience. But when you are literally exhausted from being a performative little doll or a performative little robot all day, every day, you lose your shine. You lose yourself. Has that happened to you? Where you feel like, I don't even know who I am. I don't even know what I want anymore. Seriously. And maybe you have awakened and you've been asking this question lately. That's, how you're here on this video. As I'm channeling through your higher self, your God consciousness, what you know deeply to be true. Your star power, and I'm speaking to your heart, your soul, not just anyone who wants, whatever fame. Someone who knows that they're here to shine from a soul level. Someone who has that spiritual understanding. Someone who has that consciousness expansion. You know that it's not just about the love and light, meaning it's not just about you wanting to help the people. It's you have to admit to yourself that there's something that is freeing, that is making you feel alive when you're doing this, when you're shining, when you're looking the way you want to look, when you're glistening and glowing and, all of that. So what this means, how you can make this happen is that you don't wait for some director guy to pick you up. You don't wait for the audience, the fame, the whatever subscriber. You don't wait for these outer things. You begin to activate your star power by knowing that you have the right to come here and play. That's what you sign up for. That's why you're here. You have to understand that. Because who you truly are, when I'm saying you, I'm not talking about whatever your name is, your age, your fabulous looking self. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your truest, highest level, which is God, which is source, which is consciousness, which is all that is. You're an energetic spiritual being, okay? Because the real world is the inside world. This is your avatar being projected in this world. You have chosen this avatar. You have chosen the avatar with the, the storyline and whatnot. So knowing that it is certain desires for you are your true heart's desire. If you tune in to your true self, and most people don't even do this stuff. They're like, oh, yeah, I want to be my true self. Who? Who that? Oh, take a moment, yeah? Take a moment right now. Ask yourself, who are you? When you're in your 11 out of 11, yes, that's right, 11 out of 11 self. When you are the most radiant, magnificent, beautiful, gorgeous, impactful, playful, happy, joyous, loving, harmonious, free version of you. How are they like? And once you have a taste of that, you will know when you're performing for a role you don't even want to be playing. That's why it's exhausting. So to activate your star power, you have to dedicate and devote to shining your light unapologetically. That's why the work of vulnerability, the work of authenticity, the work of soul purification is important. Because if you don't allow your light body to be activated, then you're going to be walking around. Oh my God, why is it so heavy? Why do I feel so heavy today? That's your dense, your pain body. When you're in your light body, you naturally want to smile. You naturally want to create. Naturally, you want to, oh, this is exciting. Naturally, you want to follow your joy. Naturally, you be in your childlike energy. Because you no longer care about what people think. Because when you're a young child, right, you just, look at this doll. Oh my God, let's take the doll's head off and put these clothes on instead. This is great. You don't really care about, oh my God, what is, Mary or whatever, Josephine is going to think when I take this doll's hair off and put on these weird clothes of the doll. You know what I mean? Like, maybe now, right, you're an adult, you're like, oh God, that looks, a little disturbing. You know what I mean? But when you're a child, just like, this is me, right? And if you look at like designer brands and, fashion designers or whatever, like they're a little, they're a little in their own world. Their fashion sense can be a little bit questionable or it's inspirational, however you look at it. But like they have their own way of, creating whatever they create. And that's the thing, because creation doesn't judge. Remember, creation doesn't judge. I want you to comment below, creation doesn't judge. The human do. Man judges. The ego judges. God doesn't judge. God is like, every creation you make is beautiful. That's the thing. So for you to be fully expressed in your star power, in your impact and influence. And influence, not even the right word, because it just is a natural thing that you do because your energy is contagious. People can't look away because there's a field of attraction to you because all the energy and creativity you pour into yourself. What do I want to create today? What lights me up today? What turns me on today? What makes me happy today? What brings me joy? You ask yourself these sets of questions instead of, what do I have to do now? I cannot do that because John's not gonna like it. Oh no, I cannot wear that because no, it's a bit much. I'm too much. Is that a bit too much? Can I ask your opinion on it? Can you tell me your opinion? And based on your opinion, I'm going to adjust myself so that I don't upset, people. I don't know. That's not star power. That's why you're not in your star power. The more you are performing for other people, paradoxically, you're not a star. Okay? And and beyond all this star thing, it's about freedom. It's about soul freedom. because you were always divinely whole, perfect. Okay? The Holy Spirit, okay, that the religious institutions speak of, it's not some Holy Spirit, la 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 la, okay? It's the spirit of wholeness. It's knowing that you are amazing, you are beautiful, you are whole. There was never anything wrong with you. And you're allowed to shine as you. You're allowed to create as you. You have to just throw out all these things about this is how, people expect a Vietnamese person to be. This is how, how old you are to marry before you become expired. This is how old you need to pop kids out. This is how old you, or this is how, a wife's supposed to act. This is how, or whatever. Like, this is how an author is supposed to be. This is how a dancer is supposed to be. This is how a YouTuber is supposed to be. All these freaking rules, it's not your rule. Okay? You have to scratch out all these rules and play by your own rules. That's how you win every single time. When you play by your own rules, you win every time. I want you to calm it down. I play by my own rules, therefore I win every time. You have to learn to be a creator, okay, instead of a follower. Because if you're not creating, you're just following someone else's guideline. And that's what the unconscious does, okay? The unconscious ways of being is that you're not the main character. You're not in your star power. You're not in your creator power. You're not in your sovereign power. So when someone restore their creativity, their love, their self-respect, their self-worth, and none of this is measured, you are loved infinitely because you are love itself. And you can only know that when you connect to God, when you connect to your true self as God, as source, as the highest of energy. When you try to think that you are human, flesh and bone, ego, you'll never know what love is. And you're trying to find it through a boyfriend, a girlfriend. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is weird. You're trying to find it through external sources, through a like, through a heart, through a, comment. You don't know what real love is. And when you don't know what that is, you don't know what self-respect is either. Because you play by this title of I'm a good empath. But you forget who you are as a sovereign being. You're allowed to say no. Okay, when you comment below, I am allowed to say no. I give myself permission to say no. No, the F? Okay, stop practicing that. No. It's okay. Okay, you have to give up the need to be liked so that you can be truly loved for you. And that's the mind shift. And that's the decision that I made in my life that has completely changed my reality. I wrote in my journal, and you can do this exercise. It's very powerful. I let go of the need to be liked. I choose to be deeply loved, cherished, and adored for all of me instead. Because it's not worth it. Okay? It's not worth it to be liked by someone, anyone, when you're being your performative, tiptoed, small, shrinking self. Because, that love, that like, it's not real. They don't know you. They don't know you like that. And when you operate outside of what they wanted you to be, then they don't like you no more. Then that love is conditional. It's not real. Why would you want to be fake? Why you want to be in a fake relationship? There's something deeply wrong here. Okay, you need to examine within you that you rather be in a fake thing than a real thing. The key to all of this is remembering that you're not here to chase. Because chasing means it's not yours. Okay? When you know that you are meant to shine, you are meant to express yourself freely, you are meant to be who you came here to be and be deeply known, it's already written. Okay? All you have to do is to be that version now. Okay? Sit up the way your true confident self would, not a performative thing, even though at the beginning it might feel like that. Then you realize that it's just me when I have nothing to prove. I don't feel like my shoulders is too tense. I don't need to do anything. When I allow myself to be free, I just naturally speak in my real voice, and allowing my real self to come forth. When I want to get intense, I get intense. When I want to be chill, I be chill. You allow that expression to come through. We'll go deeper into this in our future videos, and I have this video right here for you to tap deeper into opening your star power. This is Tina Wong. I love you so much. Let me know what comes through for you below, and subscribe to the channel for more.